let it go. I'm coming up. I want the world to know. Got to let it show. I'm coming up. I want the world to know. You got to let it show. I'm coming up. I want the world to know. Got to let it show. I'm coming up. Boop. I want the world to know. Got to let it. Let's go. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Dark Shade Show. I'm back.
Welcome to the revolution.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Derek O'Shea Show. Papa, how you doing? How we feeling? How we feeling in the chat? I'm currently live. I decided to go live on Twitch. Why not? Because Twitch seems to be a total crazy crapshoot right now. I don't know what's going on there. People are having sex on that platform and not getting banned. People are showing boobs, all kinds of fun stuff on Twitch. And that, Twitch is for kids. Makes sense, doesn't it? Hope you guys are having a great day. Oh man, that was the last song I heard in the gym, and I apologize. It was like the stupidest song. I'm coming up. I want the world to know. Got to let that show. Doing fantastic. Just got an illegal possession of a. Good. Good. Hey, what is in the mattress, my dude? I'm currently live on Rumble, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook. This is just a daily reminder that when I get taken down again on YouTube, that you should follow me on Rumble. I'm currently live on Rumble right now. I'm even looking at the chat. I'm in the chat just saying hello to myself, because Rumble chat is special. Little insight of what happened. So YouTube decided that to take down my channel. What was it for? It was for during the Biden speech for misinformation. And I inquired. I said, what are we talking about here? What kind of misinformation are we talking about? The mattresses stuff with old news and papers and broken dreams. God, that's so depressing. But I inquired to the YouTubes. I said, you know what, baby girl, what did I do wrong? Because I would love to know, because I would like to let it show. And they just told me it was for misinformation, for election misinformation, which is weird because I don't really talk about election. I'm not one of those channels that we're going to talk about election fraud every 5 seconds. This is just not the channel for that. I think there are better people out there and more qualified people out there to talk about that other than myself. So I was like, that's weird. And I tweeted at them. They said, okay, that's weird. Let's see if we can take a look for you. And I said, great. And then they said, appreciate the URL. We'll look into this. And then I appealed it in the app. So I appealed the video and I said, hey, I don't know what's going on, but I don't really talk about election stuff on my channel a lot. I make fun of videos and I make fun of politicians, but we're not getting into deep stuff. Maybe it was something Biden said during his speech, because again, this was during Biden's speech. This was during his little Reichstag, his little Nazi speech. So I was super confused with what was happening. It was like maybe something in the algorithm tipped off him or something like that. I don't know what was going on. So I inquired about it. I asked about it. And then I came out to see they rejected my appeal. They said, you know what, Derek O'Shea, I don't believe you. I think it was true. I seem to think it was some people in the chat, because I don't know if you guys know this, but people on the left like to just constantly report anyone that disagrees with what they have to say. So that's why I block them constantly. I've had to redo my TikTok account a couple of times, my Instagram account a couple of times, just for false reporting, because they just like to false report like crazy and take you down. So it's not that I'm scared to engage with these people. I just know that they're sinister and they'll do something stupid like constantly report or tell their friends to report and then take down my channel. It's unfair. So I just go, you know what? Seems like the type of Karen, the leftist Karen, that will go and do something insane like this. So I blocked them, but they reported me anyway. So apparently it turns out to be a false reporting and a false in the algorithm. And then it was weird. I woke up on Tuesday and I got this or Wednesday, and it was like, this was a total mistake on our side. Your video has been reinstated and all associated policy actions on your channel have been reversed. It may take 24 to 48 hours for the video to come back on your channel. Sorry, this happened. Oh, maybe it was the troll. The name, the problematic biatch. That one. Yeah, I think it was her. And so this is why I block people. Again, it has nothing to do with my fear. It's that they don't care and they're a part of the death cult. So if they can destroy your channel, if they can take you down on YouTube, if they can take you down on Twitch, they will do it. And they'll laugh at your grave in your ashes. And so I just go, you know what? I'm not going to bring them into my life. And I don't want that kind of energy. So I just block them. But this happens anyways. Perfect example of making sure you follow people on Rumble, and hopefully Rumble become more of a viable platform as opposed to all of us at the knees of Google, at the knees of YouTube constantly. Because it's funny when I hear these big channels cry about their strikes. That was my 4th strike, and a couple of them were unfair, and a couple of them were later reinstated due to information proving to be true over time. So it's just, the system doesn't work, and they know it doesn't work, and there's a double standard everywhere. Just like on Twitch, where you have, young girls having sex on live Twitch. You can't really see everything, but they get taken down for 7 days and then reinstated, while people say a bad word or reveal too much clothes, and they get taken off for life. There's a double standard in all these social media platforms. And if you fit the narrative, you fit the agenda, if you're on the side of the left, they will give you so much grace. It's unbelievable. And it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. But there's nothing I can do. I could just cry about it. That's it. That's all I can do. Just cry, complain, call my mom on the phone, say, Mom, guess what? My channel just got taken down again. I'm going to have to keep living in your basement. I swear to God, this is going to turn out to be a great move financially in the long run. I'm so tired of living with my freaking mom. But anyways, so that is the news that would happen with YouTube. Take it with a grain of salt. I don't really care too much. I just think it's just, if this was my only income, I would really care and I'd be really mad. And so I understand what people like a Crowder or Quarterling or Tim, Tim will never happen to Tim. I don't know why they like him so much, but they do. Tim Pool. But any kind of far right, Dan Bongino, there are people that have been taken down that will never be brought back just for double standard reasons. And this is a perfect example of why they should just allow, as long as I'm not calling for violence, they should allow me to be on this platform. It's just really stupid. Don't think it's about living with your mother. It's more about living with roommates who gave you your DNA. Exactly. My mom is not my mom. She's my roommate. We're living in a very safe situation together. But social media platforms are just ridiculous. Let's get in the news. I don't know if you guys noticed, but today the Queen has died, and I feel bad, but I don't at the same time. It's like I care, but I don't. She was over 90 years old. This is a beautiful thing, to live this long. It's awesome. But I'm supposed to be in mourning? You should be, this is the type of death that should be celebrated. It's wow, what an incredible lifestyle. What an incredible life. You lived that long. We should be celebrating you. This isn't a devastating occasion. It's not like somebody just dies when they're 30 years old. Tim Pool plays ball. That's why he never gets taken out. Exactly. Yeah. And to be fair, I try to play ball a little bit, but I also mock and press buttons that shouldn't be pressed. But the Queen has passed away, and here's a picture of me with the Queen. She's a lovely lady. I really adored this Queen. She brought me into her home, taught me the things that I needed to be taught. I almost became her roommate. Beautiful lady. Helped out during World War II. That's how old she is. It's incredible. Will always take you out for a cup of tea, which I love. But let's get into some of the news from the Queen Elizabeth dying, because there's some, of course, the leftists have to, pop up their. The left has to do everything. So, Queen Elizabeth II died at 96 years old. The longest reigning monarch in British history has died, and there she is in her beautiful form, gorgeous. Queen Elizabeth, who ascended to British throne at the age of 25 years old, counted Winston Churchill's and former President Reagan as close friends, so she's a white supremacist and an evil dictator in a sense, and became the longest reigning monarch in the nation's history when she died. She died at 96 years old, all right? This is, what an incredible life. Should be, good things all around. This isn't like a devastating affair. She lived a beautiful life. The royal family confirmed on the news on Twitter. The Queen died peacefully in her home this afternoon. The King and the Queen consort will remain at Balmoral the evening and will return to London tomorrow. But here's where it gets fun. The Queen taught me how to drink. That's why that broad could drink me under. Dude, I bet she could. Look at her. She could put down some. I mean, Winston Churchill had nothing on her. People always talk about, yeah, have you seen Winston Churchill's drinking schedule? The way he woke up, he drank, and then he drank and took a nap, and then he took a drink, and then he took another drink, and then he took a drink, and then he went to bed, and then he woke up and took another. This broad could put it down. But I saw this today. This made me laugh so hard. Okay, this isn't funny. You shouldn't be laughing. Here's the Queen walking up to Kobe Bryant in heaven. Many on the left would like to say otherwise, but I'm going to say heaven. This is the Queen walking up to Kobe. Ah! I'm sorry. There were so many funny memes about Queen Elizabeth dying that I couldn't help but bring up. But here's people in front of Buckingham Palace singing her name, singing her praises. Here we go. Being glorious, long to reign over us. God save the Queen. Gorgeous. All right, and there's them singing in front. Here's Piers Morgan, a little Piers moment. It's incredible. They're they don't really rule over us, but they sort of do. I can only hope I get a reception like that when I get the crowd. Me too. I want people to sing over me. All right, here's Piers Morgan.
Well, this is one of the saddest and most momentous turning points.
I want the crowd of tone-deaf tourists to sing over my praise. Are you calling me tone-deaf? Because I was on point. All right, here's Piers.
Well, this is one of the saddest and most momentous turning points in the history of the United Kingdom. There's nobody in this country or the world who hasn't lived the majority of their lives under the reign of Queen Elizabeth II. For 70 years, she served this country with astoundingly dedicated duty. I struggle to even imagine a Britain without this Queen. But with great sadness, we now have to imagine it because the moment we've all been dreading has finally come. And tonight, everything changes. Her death is an enormous blow, not just to the British people, but to our national psyche. To people around the world who don't fully understand our deep affinity with this Queen, it's as simple as this.
That's me. I don't get it. I genuinely do not get anything about the royal family. I don't know why I'm supposed to care about the royal family. I don't get why I should care about Meghan Markle, about the Prince Harry who walked away from all this, and they're all wokeness. I don't know why I'm supposed to care. I don't even know why I'm supposed to even read about them. But it's just like AOC. I find myself reading about these people that I know I don't care about, but I feel like I'm supposed to care about due to, well, corporate media's affinity about them. But please, Piers, tell me how to think. Didn't we fight a massive bloody war against the royal family over a tea tax? Yes.
Our monarchy and Her Majesty are the very essence of being British.
Oh.
As Abraham Lincoln, apple pie and the Constitution are to being American, so the royal family is to Great Britain.
Whoa. Yeah, but apple pie, I can consume and I can enjoy.
More than an institution, it's an identity. It's who we are. It's the Magna Carta, the Palace of Westminster, the Battle of Waterloo. It's Austen, Dickens, Shakespeare, the Beatles. It's crushing the Nazis. It's Churchill and the Blitz spirit. It's Royal Ascot and the Chelsea Flower Show, cricket at Lord's, Wimbledon tennis, football at Wembley. Nothing and nobody has symbolised what it means to be British.
Speaking of football at Wembley, I am told, I'm a huge soccer fan, and I'm told that they are canceling games for up to 2 weeks over this. What?
Better than Queen Elizabeth. She's always been there. She had an aura of invincibility.
When Gerald Ford kicked the bucket, we didn't think of it like death of baseball. I know.
That sadly today has been shattered. And now we have to learn as a country to live without her. Whatever your views of the royal family, wherever you live in the world, you will remember this day because it's history unfolding before our eyes. This remarkable little lady was not just our longest serving monarch, she was the second longest reigning monarch in all of history. She appointed 15 British prime ministers. She hosted 13 of the last 14 American presidents. She was our queen for 30% of America's entire history. Think about that. She held more than 100 state visits for the world's leaders. She was the head of state herself in 17 countries. She was the head of the Commonwealth of Nations. And she guided us all through the best of times and the worst of times, through wars, terrorism, pandemics, natural disasters, financial crises. Whatever it was, she was there with dignity, duty, stoicism, and that famous stiff upper lip. Her last act this week was to appoint our new Prime Minister. Remarkably, staggeringly, she was dutiful until the very, very end.
Yes.
I'm so very glad. And
I'm pretty sure the entire British population will remember it like to live without thinking about it, the Queen 24/7 maybe.
Very grateful that we all have had the chance to say thank you at her Platinum Jubilee celebrations this summer. And she was...
I saw an article about Prince Harry he didn't get to say goodbye. Well, that's what happens when you're woke.
See just how much she meant to us. Elizabeth II demonstrated the very best of our British values in her leadership. She represented those values to the world. She was our greatest export, our greatest leader, the greatest of Britons. When Her Majesty the Queen died this afternoon in Balmoral, a little piece of all of us here in Britain died with her.
Oh, not according to the left, because let's get into what they think. Have they no shame? Woke liberals writing for the New York Times, New York Magazine, The Atlantic waste no time attacking the colonizer Queen mere hours after her death, age 96. Isn't that the left for you? Hey, you died? Well, we're going to start talking crap about you. Now's the time. Now that everyone's talking about that and everyone's eyes are focused on the Queen right now and looking up things about the Queen, now's my time to shine. Now's my time to really go in. And you just love to see it, don't you? I mean, here's a perfect example. I mean, this guy knows history, and B, is somebody you should listen to. The death of Queen Elizabeth has been celebrated by some opinion writers with some promising dance on her grave. The 70-year-old reign as devastating. Here's some of the best things from today. Lizzie out. Let's get loud. God, you love the left, don't you? The Queen has officially been deleted from her earthly plane. I'm not going to get in front, but my feelings before, during, and after the announcement that her health was deteriorating has been pretty consistent. If he dies, he dies. You might read that as callous or lacking decorum. Yes, I would read that as callous and lacking decorum because anybody with a brain would say so. I like a good laugh, but this isn't a laugh. This is being malicious, and that's different. But the left doesn't know the difference. They don't know what comedy is anymore. I don't know if you've watched SNL or late night TV, but it sucks. And I want you to know that I see you. I feel you. You're right. But I also want you to know, here we go, that I'm not here for one single African ounce of decorum when it comes to this lady dying, okay? I don't care. For 96 years, the colonizer has been sucking up to the Earth's resources. She represented an empire that's committed mass violence and brought multiple flavors of atrocity to the world. Like, you're not just gonna see me shedding tears of her, not even a single thought or thing, you know? They're devoid of humor. I know they are. They really are. Here's another one. Let's make sure y'all read Dinner Party. God, so dumb. Lamo, what do you mean? I'm about to be as respectful and sweet as always. And then here's another prime leftist. Doesn't she look fun? Don't you just look at her and go, I want to invite you to a dinner party with me. And then you know what she'd walk in and be like, this music is very offensive. Can you turn it down? As we just go down. Oh, and Jamil was one of my favorite. Is there an empire that's never committed any atrocities in other group? No, there isn't. And America is one of the best countries ever created for that reason, but no one likes to talk about that. Journalists are Jamil Hill is like, she's one of the greatest leftist grifters. I put her behind... who's that CRT guy? God, what is his name? He's blanking on me. He's got long hair. He charges like $10,000 per speech. I am blanking on his name. Whatever. He's a loser. Journalists are tasked with putting legacies into full context. Yeah, my name's Jamil Hill. I'm a journalist. Remember me on ESPN? So it's entirely appropriate to examine the Queen and her role in the devastating impact of continued colonialism. Just like right as she died, they just put this out. Real question for now is the appropriate time to talk about negative impact of colonialism crowd. When is it appropriate to talk about the negative impact of colonialism? Boom! Slam dunk! God, these people are just so ridiculous. Here's another perfect example. Hi, do you want to come to a party with me? No? Okay, I don't want you to come either because you look like you'd be a problem at the party. Here's Ebony Elizabeth Thomas. At this moment, the thought of Diana and Meghan are keeping my eyes completely dry. God, these people are the worst. I'm surprised. I tend to weep even for personal enemies and structural oppressors. And the U.S. media, entertainment, and education has gilded her, but yeah. Telling the colonized how they should feel about their colonizers' health and wellness is like telling my people that we ought to worship the Confederacy. What's his face? Respect the dead. When we're all writing these tweets in English. How'd that happen? We just chose this language. It's 13 o'clock, preferably in the month of September, when the best time of the year to talk about colonial. Exactly. These people are the worst. All right, here we go. Another one. I can't imagine what my Irish grandparents would be feeling. God, I'm Irish too. And I don't care. But yeah, I do hate them. What they did to the Irish. Worship Confederacy. That's the thing. Yeah. You know, as somebody who lived in Charleston, South Carolina, I think about the Confederacy on the daily. God, these people are so silly. The Queen died. The Irish already on it. Okay, I'm not going to watch that video. All right. Okay, here we go. Another one. I heard the chief monarch of a thriving, raping, genocidal empire is finally dying. May her pain be excruciating. Oh my God. Oh, God. Okay, these people are like so evil that it's if you're not laughing, you're like, what the fuck? What is wrong with you? Who wants to hang out with any of these people? Seriously, who would invite any of these people to a party? Is it true that South Carolinians offer burnt sacrifices? General Nathan Bedford Force? Yes. Every day. And we hate Sherman. If anyone expects me to express anything but disdain for the monarch who supervised a government that sponsored the genocide that massacred and displaced half my family, and the consequences of which those alive today are still trying to overcome, you can keep wishing upon a star. You know who this kind of reminds me of, though? There's somebody who I'm thinking of right now that this kind of reminds me of. It's me. It's me. God. Jeez. All right. It's just so silly. I just can't. I call Nancy Pelosi a see you next Tuesday almost a daily basis. Yeah, I know. I'm not as nearly as hateful as Ujuyu. I mean, it's hard to even like mock this because of just how insane it is. I mean, she seriously is insane. I mean, that comment right there is so ridiculous that she makes the queen out to be this evil person, who the queen is like right here, right where my heart is, right here. Makes her to be like this evil person that should be ended. Wait, what was that she said? Sorry. May her pain be excruciating. God, jeez. You know, you don't have to go in. These people are obsessed with taking any of your worst qualities and maximizing it to be your only quality so that they have an entire narrative to tear down about your personality, who you are, and who you represent. And that's what they're obsessed with. That's what they're so obsessed with, taking things apart, breaking things down, and ruining people's lives, that they will say and do whatever it takes. That's why I laugh whenever I see Biden talking about how hateful and like they're a threat to the democracy, people in the MAGA crowd. It's such a joke compared to people on the left. These people have no morals, and they will say and do whatever it takes as long as it ruins your life, period. Change my mind. I mean, it's just so insane what comes out of these people's mouth. Ooh. I feel sorry for Uju Anya. She is so hateful that not even her 50 cats want anything to do with her. Oh, dude, her freaking 50 cats. Could you imagine her being a cat in that house? You know that litter is never being picked up. She probably has somebody that does it for her. This is the same camp that thinks Drew Barrymore is a grand wizard of the KKK because she posted a TikTok of her enjoying the rain. I know. That enjoying the rain video. If you have the chance to go out in the rain, do it. Actually, you're in the black creator space and you're ruining it for everyone. I mean, this is psychotic. Like these tweets. I mean, could you imagine being beloved by so many and then there's like insane people just posting things like, I hope, may your pain be excruciating. And you're supposed to take these people seriously and they continue to have their blue check marks, you know, and Twitter's like, you know what? You know, that's not threatening. They're not pushing violence either. I don't see it. But those MAGA people who would say things like, make America great. Oh my God, that's basically white supremacy. I'm not kidding. It's a real thing. It's not a joke. Okay? This isn't a joke. Okay? Speaking of joke, it's time for a little thing I like to call me. It's me. I'm back. Okay, I'm back, and I'm madder than ever. Come on. I can't even do it right. All right, hold on. Okay. It's me. It's me. I'm back, and I'm madder than ever, and I can't see. Okay. Listen. Steampunk Skylar, that's me. Listen. This isn't a joke. This isn't something to joke around about. You need to... Okay, wait. This is what happens when you do a live show. Where is this? Okay, I need to get rid of that. Wait a minute. What is that? Okay. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Just a little segment I like to call MSNBC Daily. Because only... Wait a second. Let me fix something.
Here we go, just a little segment I like to call MSNBC Daily, my only trusted news source. And these are the top 10 stories that you must know. You gotta know, or else you won't know what's going on. J.K. Rowling pens her transphobic piece de resistance. Here's the thing. J.K. Rowling, we don't like her, but we love Harry Potter. So we're very conflicted about what to do about it. Here's another one. Worlds with elves, hobbits, dragons, cool. Black people, wait a minute. You know what? All these people that are mad about Lord of the Rings because there are black people in it, oh, that's not why they're mad? My producer is saying that's not why they're mad. Well, you don't get it, okay? And here's my favorite one. Tucker Carlson is escalating the semi-fascist debate in a menacing way. Fox News, alert, time to get freaking Tucker Carlson off now. And I think, wait, let me fix something.
I think Tucker Carlson's actually a terrible human being, and anybody with a brain would know what's going on. Hey, Papa, what's up? Hey, auto-tune triggers my trauma. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not auto-tune, it's just how my voice is. Okay? And don't trigger me while I'm triggering you, or else there's going to be a trigger off, and that's going to make me mad. Trigger warning is just for a reason. You're a white supremacist, MAGA, racist, fascist, Nazi. Not me! Derek O'Shea is, and we almost got him off the air. I'm serious. I got all my friends to report his stream because he's an evil person. I'm not kidding. Seriously, he is one of the worst people on the earth. I hate Derek O'Shea with all my might. Okay, anyways, that's all the leftist news for me right now. I'll be right back. Do 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 do. Hey, I don't know who that was. I seriously don't. I'm like kind of embarrassed about who that was. I hope they never just pop in my stream again. I'm gonna tell my friends and family to take her off. I think it was a her. Let's see if I can. What's going on? I apologize if that was like hurtful for anyone or triggering for anyone. Don't trigger me into a trigger fight. I'm walking straight. Trigger warning. Yeah, I apologize for all that. It's really embarrassing. But let's go back to the news. Oh, somebody's gonna get mad about that. But that's why it's so beautiful. I don't know if you've been paying attention to what's going on in the Twitter sphere as much as I do, because I don't have a life. I don't have a life. Somebody help me. Somebody help me get a life. But Kathy, the whole MAGA thing, Kathy Griffin decided to pop her head up, and she tweeted this: "If you don't want a civil war, vote for Democrats in November. If you do want a civil war, vote for Republicans." Oh, I'm trying to think. What does this mean? Are you calling for violence? Oh, no, because you're a leftist and nothing you do does it. So this is the party that's saying that the people that are a threat to democracy is the people on the right. Okay, right. Got it. It's just we're in the Twilight Zone. I mean, if you're not laughing, you're crying, as always, but it's just so silly. Oh, by the way, if you're new here, make sure to drop a like on the video. That helps the algorithms out. And smash that subscribe button if you're new. Right there, smash it. Make sure you hit the notification bell. And then make sure to not do any of that and subscribe to me on Rumble, because I'll be off YouTube in 5, 4, 3, 2, and he's off. Next clip. We had so many clips today. We didn't have that many clips today, unfortunately, guys. We didn't have that many clips due to the fact that everybody and their mom was talking about the Queen dying. So I apologize. And we just finished all the Queen stuff. I'm done. Kathy Griffin, I thought she went the way of Keith Oberman. Oh my God, Keith Oberman. That guy is. Who's worse? Seriously, who is worse? Kathy Griffin or Keith Oberman? Like, who is worse? I don't know. They are both. I can't tell who's worse, like Kathy Griffin or Keith Oberman. I can't tell who is the biggest grifter. Who's the one? I can't tell if it's like a character or they're just off the rocker or they're just so consumed with only one news source. I don't know what it is, but it has to be one of those things, because the things that come out of their mouths are so insane that I can't get on board. It's not grounded in logic. It's not grounded in learning about what's going on in the world. Papa says they are both desperate to be liked by the leftist media machine. Yeah, I think Kathy Griffin is going as hard as she possibly can so that she can get roles again in Hollywood. I don't know what it is. Her comedy is not funny, unfortunately for her, especially as a representative of the ginger community. I'm hurtful about that, and it breaks my heart. But other than that, I don't like her. She's like a worse version of Carrot Top. God. How dare you? How dare you, sir? All right, let me just take a quick sip of the old seltzer water. Oh, yum. Did that auto-tune sound weird? I apologize. I hope this is a fun show for you guys. Look, it's unscripted. It's me with one stupid small computer that I need to upgrade that I refuse to do. And it's me with a okay mic, and I'm just living my dream. I'm doing my thing. It's true, gingers are funny as Germans. They've been established. Yes. Hey, that is rude. Because I know that Germans are funny, all right? Speaking of funny, let's have a serious moment. Let's not forget of all the Queen stuff we went through and how insane the left is in regards to the Queen. But let's keep the insanity going. The truth often hurts arrogant. Hey, that's true. I know I'm not funny, and that's my problem. That's why, I don't know if you notice, with my show, I put comedy in quotes. Because it always makes me think of, Chris Farley. I'm not sure I go and take showers much. I don't know what deodorant is. I don't get a lot of girlfriends. I have bad breath. I don't go out to eat all the time. And when I do, I go to buffets. I never have driven a car. I can't believe Chris Farley's dead. It just made me sad again. I mean, the Queen. We're talking about the Queen. Speaking of the Queen, Queen Bee. There were so many just crazy tweets on Twitter about the Queen, just like insanity about colonialism and stuff. I feel like it's all Hasabi, or whatever his name is on Twitter. It's all his followers, just like, yeah, colonizer. God, it's 2022. All right.
You know who's colonizing Russia right now?
All right. Secretary Janet Yellen. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. Let's get that right. Treasury. And what is she talking about? Is she talking about money right now? Or is she in line with all the other people pushing the narrative?
You know what? We gotta get away from fossil fuel cars. I know in California right now they're having blackouts, and that some people aren't able to charge their electric car due to the energy grid, which I've always said on the show, and leftists have said, you don't know anything about the energy grid, and I always said, you know what, imagine if everyone bought an electric vehicle and plugged it in at the same time. It wouldn't work. It would just go down like you know what, especially in the wintertime, but whatever. Oh, don't do that sign. Sorry. But here's Janet Yellen. Here we go. Here's Janet Yellen. Janet, tell us what you think.
Our plan, powered by the Inflation Reduction Act, represents the largest investment in fighting climate change in our country's history.
Oh.
And it will put us well on our way toward a future where we depend on the wind, the sun, and other clean sources of energy. We will rid ourselves from our current dependence on fossil fuels.
Okay, can we just pause for a second and think about this whole thing right here?
Our plan, powered by the Inflation Reduction Act, represents the largest investment in fighting climate.
Okay, can we just hear that one more time? I feel like people are missing how insane this comment is. Janet Yellen is a student of money science. You go, that makes her an expert in science. Exactly. And okay, here we go. This is seriously so insane right here. We have to put these two things together. Inflation Reduction Act, and then what did you say after that?
Our plan, powered by the Inflation Reduction Act, represents the largest investment in fighting climate change.
I know, I wish some of these politicians could be held accountable for some of these bill names and how big of a lie they are. They're just like, this is called inflation reduction. And then they just go on, and she goes on to say, it's our biggest what?
Presents the largest investment.
It's our largest investment. This is reducing inflation, largest investment. How does that work? It's because of the science. We have to know what's going on. Janet Yellen, please tell me again how to think, because next time I thought you would help us with money, but you're making our lives worse. Thanks, Janet Yellen. God, I can't with these people. If you're not laughing, you're crying, mate. You're seriously crying, and it's a crying shame. There should be a name. They should just name the bills the Fluffy Bunny Act and the Jelly Bean Waterfall Bill. I know. Kaylon, what up? Long live Her Majesty. Yes. God save the Queen. Kaylon, I wish you were here for when we went through some of the far leftist tweets and how insane they were at the beginning of the show. It was insane. I can't tell if like some of these bill names are on purpose to just lie to your face and get people on board, or it's because they don't actually read the bills ever and they just put a title on it because that's the only part of the bill they read. It's like people with news. They're like, oh, I'll just go through the news via headlines. I'll just like read the headline. I'm like, oh, okay, I got enough information. But much like news headlines and bill names are complete lies to what's actually in the freaking bill. And so it just pulls your emotions and makes you go, oh, well, those people are racist, or how could you not be for that bill? I mean, look, it's called inflation reduction, and I need my inflation reducted now. Papa says HR 2384.
The Super Puppy Dog Act will guarantee $1 trillion in bed nukes to Ukraine. How could you not be for the Super Puppy Dog Act?
Most woke black people don't realize England abolished slavery before America. No. And that's depressing. Most people don't know history, period. Let's just be honest about that. People try to rewrite history constantly, and they always like try to make it out to be whatever fits their narrative or whatever is the grift of the day. And that's sad, because if people don't know history, you can rewrite it to mean whatever you want. I mean, I'm sure there's like some idiot out there that's like, you know what,
Hitler had a lot of good points.
like
Maybe we should actually do some of that socialist stuff. It's pretty good. I mean, you got the government going, and then he created a whole class of people that were made the enemy, like the Jews, and you got the MAGA crowd. Maybe we could just kind of do the same thing. Ah.
God. But speaking of crazy.
Mentioning those power lines.
Okay. I don't know if you saw this freaking act. This is this is my man in DC right here. This guy is evading the police in DC right here.
Mentioning those power lines. Dangerous situation as he is literally
dangling and just trying to switch over to the other side using several power lines as his base to just basically use some more, as a base to hold on. But the way
I mean, come on. Even if I went to jail, I wouldn't use that.
Literally
dangling.
That's freaking nuts. Fun fact, most liberal people in America don't know their own country's history. No. You know why, Kalon? It's because, at least my generation, we weren't taught history. I wasn't taught very much history, and the history I was taught, it was like, it wasn't good. It wasn't, the most history I've learned is me as an adult. And I think that's like the part of the problem. It's like twofold. It's like you can't teach kids everything in school because they're kids and they're only going to grasp so much. And you can only teach them such basic things. And then it's up to adults to continue, like you and me, to learn about history. And so most adults are like, I don't want to learn about history. I just want to go out and party with my bros and get some girls, whatever. And so you have an entire generation of people who aren't well read, and they're just like watching headlines and finding a good creator they like, and they're just like, I'll just agree with everything that's going on there. And so like that's why you have this like huge dichotomy of what's going on. I feel like the people back in the day would actually read growing up and then continue to read and continue to grow in knowledge. Instead, you have an entire class of people who are like, I'd rather not read. Somebody needs to give that man a reality show and a giant check for $300. I know. Dude, the way he just like went across.
Dangerous, mentioning those power lines. Dangerous situation as he is literally.
Okay, the cojones on this guy is insane. I would never, even if I was running away from cops, running away from bad people trying to kill me, I would never think, you know what? I'm going on the wires.
Dangling and just trying to.
Plus, it makes me think, like, has this guy ever done this before?
Switch over to the other side using several power lines.
I feel like here's the part where you have like what's his name? I'm blanking. What's his name? He's the guy that played God in Bruce Almighty. He's a black dude and he's got freckles all over him. Morgan Freeman. You're like, and this is the part where he knew he messed up. Right here. In the Caribbean islands, we have a subject in. Are you in the Caribbean? We're in the. Why not? It worked in Tango and Cash. That's true. In the Caribbean islands, we have a subject in high school called social studies. Yeah, same. It's a mandatory for students to pass the subject before they leave high school. Thanks, Papa. Morgan Freeman coming in clutch. Yeah, we had social studies too, but my social studies also had things like, save the environment and learn how to recycle and kind of weird stuff like that. But incredible things coming out of this administration as we speak. Speaking of incredible, social studies teaches history about England and in America. Well, that's cool. Yeah, my social studies class taught about English, American history, mainly only. And then I had some about like the conquistadors and coming over, which no one talks about how, evil the Spanish were and what they did to their slaves and what they did to the Native Americans. It's all about white people. Let's go after the white people. In fact, some of the Portuguese were some of the worst treaters of slaves in the history of man. Who cares? And especially the Muslims. Let's not go down that rabbit hole. All right. DC, this incredible clip. DC councilwoman claims the governors of Texas and Arizona have turned the nation's capital into a border town. Oh no, you mean you're reaping what you sow?
So it's been said, but it's worth reiterating, that the governors of Texas and Arizona have created this crisis. And the federal government has not stepped up to assist the District of Columbia. So we, along with our regional partners, will do what we've always done. We'll rise to the occasion. We've learned from border towns.
Oh my God, I just realized my mic is off. God. Oh my gosh. You know what? I was on a rant and now I'm just going to stop. I feel like God was like saying, hey dude, shut up. If I was living in America, I would have run for president and let you be vice president. All right, I'll be vice president. As long as I can be, but I will be the most outspoken, insane vice president ever. I kind of want to be press secretary, to be honest. I think like that would be the most fun job ever, and just be as insane as possible and over the top and gaslight everyone and make everyone angry and say radical stuff that goes against what's going on in the administration and people just losing their minds. I would troll the entire time. Can I be Ambassador Micronesia? Yes. It's up to Kalon, man. He's in charge. I don't know if you're keeping up I don't know if you guys are keeping up to date what's going on with Steve Bannon. But Steve Bannon was indicted, and he surrendered. Steve Bannon surrendered the Manhattan DA's office. With New York's rampant crime and people being murdered, and I don't know if you've seen videos of like cars just crashing into each other, people being hit in the face and crazy things on the subway and homeless problem going off the rockers and stuff like that. Here's what the DA in Manhattan's worried about. Steve Bannon! Okay, so we're locking up people with different political ideas than our own. I'm trying to think of what countries do that, but here's Steve Bannon.
Yeah. Coming? This is an irony. On the very day the mayor of this city has a delegation down on the border, they're persecuting people here and trying to stop on the border. 60 days from the day. 60 days from the day.
Take a step back. Take a step back.
60 days from the day is an election.
Stop hurting America! Stop hurting America!
Steve is going to get out of jail. Yeah, I know he is, but it doesn't matter. The fact that this is even happening in this city that's rampant with crime is insane. This is like literally what they're concerned about. They're more concerned about a wink and a nod to their political base than they are about actually cleaning up the streets, which is a perfect example of what a terrible politician is. But this is what's going on. Here's another clip of Steve being, led into jail.
for every conservative American. This is what happens in the last days of a dying regime.
Exactly.
They will never shut me up. They'll have to kill me first. I have not yet begun to fight.
You know, and especially a lot of our politicians, particularly on the Democrat side, anytime they're arrested or escorted or, violence outside or around them, here's a perfect example of what he actually is in handcuffs and being led away. And what is he being charged with?
I don't know, but we're going to get down to the bottom of it.
You know what I'm seeing? Random acts of brutal violence and mass looting. I sleep soundly knowing that these criminal scumbags will think twice before laundering campaign money. Yeah. When you pander to people's society, you will crumble. Yes. These people are more concerned about appeasing the mob than actually getting down to helping the average American human being. That's just facts. I don't care who you are. It's just that's where we're at in today's society. It's like we have corporations, we have politicians who are more concerned about the mob than they are about actually helping people. We saw that all during like Antifa and Black Lives Matter riots. You saw our vice president herself bailing people out of jail and no repercussions. I don't know. Who cares? I know it ruined whole, inner city black communities. Like, yeah, we don't care about those communities. As long as they're voting for the Democratic Party, that's all that matters. Let's talk about January 6th one more time instead of like the devastation that happened. It makes me so mad. And the same people will talk to you about food deserts in inner city communities and stuff like that. They're like, oh, these people have no good food. I'm like, yeah, because there's so much crime. What business is going to go in there? And so instead of actually fixing themselves, they just they just point their fingers to private companies saying, you're the problem. And that kind of stuff drives me nuts. I'm like, it's a twofold thing, right? It's the government and private companies saying, you know what? We're going to fix up the streets, and then the private companies say, okay, we're going to make an investment. And then they come in together. But instead, they just point fingers at each other all the time. Did those cities ever recover from those riots? A lot haven't. I know for a fact people that live in Minnesota today say it's not the same. Here's Greg Gutfeld. Let's see if we can get a good quote from him.
Take a page out of Joe's Handbook of Fear, right? Scare the crap out of parents with facts. Make it palpable. Meanwhile, when you look at, this is going to be a very, I'm going to act like Jesse and make a broad statement. I remember when I was watching the protests after 2016 when Trump won, and I saw the protests. It was a lot of single women. It wasn't a lot of men, and the men there, they weren't exquisite specimens, let's face it. But I saw a lot of young, angry females. And the Democratic Party, in a way, has become the party.
If I become president, I will label... you're good. You should, man. You should, just based on that. If Black Lives Matter was actually for black people, then I would have been for it. But it wasn't. It wasn't ever about that. It was about destroying the family systems. It was Marxist things and destruction of America. And that was my biggest problem with it. I saw so many people that would just, post their black squares and post their stuff, but... they don't read up on stuff. They just like push by emotions. And that's what so much goes on in our society is everyone's so consumed by emotion. They're just like, well, if everyone's mad at that, I should be mad at that. And just like, I'll just follow the crowd. And why wouldn't you be for this? It's like, why would you not be for Black Lives Matter? Like, it sounds like it's like our bills. Like we just keep talking about the same thing. Like our bills names have nothing to do with what actually goes on. It's like Black Lives Matter. How can you not be for that? Aren't you for Black Lives? I'm like, yes. And I look into what the organization's about. I'm like, absolutely not. Like, what the... I hate the lies. The gaslighting and lies drives people nuts.
It wasn't a lot of men, and the men there, they weren't exquisite specimens, let's face it. But I saw a lot of young, angry females. And the Democratic Party, in a way, has become the party of young, angry, single women, right?
Oh, my God. Nothing... has ever am I blinking? That's the most true statement ever. The Democratic Party is the party of young, angry, single, white women. Let's be real. We need moral logic than emotions when making laws. Yes. Leadership when you're in leadership, you factor in emotions, you factor in what's going on in people, you have an empathetic voice, but a lot of laws should be down to logic. He's not wrong. Have you ever seen Twitter? Oh, 100%. I'm on Twitter all the time, man. Remember I said I need a life?
They place abortion before babies, right? It's their right to have convenience up to the birth. Abortion on demand up to birth. That is not a party for a family. That's a psychosis. If you think you can abort a child up to the day of birth, that's insane. That's insane. So I think the Republican Party should focus on being the party for parents. It's right there. It's a real battle. The facts are there. Do it.
Reclaim.
Reclaim.
Don't get framed.
Don't get framed.
Don't
Reclaim.
Reclaim. Don't get framed. Republicans are so bad at messaging, it's not even funny. This is like the easiest toss-up election ever, and they're going to win a lot, but they won't win as much as they should because their messaging is so bad, and they pick people like freaking Dr. Oz. If Dr. Oz loses to a man that had a stroke and can barely carry out a sentence in front of other people, the GOP is just trash. Tinder is a cesspool of young, angry, single, liberal women. Dude, get off Tinder immediately. Meet people the old-fashioned way. Remember that? Where you just like meet them in public and stuff. This post. Why a couple banned doctor from announcing baby's gender in the delivery room. And they're like proud of it. They're for the science. They're all about science. These people will tell you, I support science. A woman has revealed that how she and her non-binary partner did not want doctors to announce the gender of their child in an attempt to raise them without gender norms. We are going to have an entire generation of people that are just so messed up in the head. They won't have any grounding. They won't have logical facts to be grounded on and say like, okay, well, this is true. They're just like, I don't know. It's whatever you want. Life is make-believe. You can just make up and believe whatever you want. You can have new definitions all the time. Summer Barrows Portroy said, who appeared last night on an episode of SBS Insight to discuss the matter, came out as non-binary 2 years ago, meaning Summer uses they-them pronouns. I love as they put that in the article. Summer, who's in her late 30s, met her wife Stephanie 6 years ago, and the pair went through IVF to become a baby Juno to the world. The pair have said that they want a child to be able to be close to their own path life without being confined to gender stereotypes. You mean confined to logic and fact. Stephanie told the Inside audience that during the pregnancy, she would want doctors to tell the couple that their genders... It's like... You know what the funniest thing is about this is like, it's not that the baby knows what gender they are when they're born. It's like they don't want the truth. They're like, don't tell me the truth. I don't want the facts. I don't want to think it because it's gonna create a new bias in me, and I'm gonna have to like paint the room blue because if it's a boy, or I'm not gonna be like, here's some trucks and stuff as a baby, and I don't even want to, like, that to happen. It's gonna ruin it. These people are parents. Oh, God. And people are mad about Elon having kids. These are non-binary couples and some of the loneliest people on the face of the planet. Of course, their child is a way to, it's like their child is a way to just push their narrative. Also, the inauguration speech. I would bring a law that there will be mandatory paternity tests for all babies that are born with less stress on family court. Yes. That would be awesome. It's insane, though. I mean, you're having a doctor lie to people in order for them not to be triggered while their baby is being born. Like, I'm all for, like, if you want to, like redefine words by yourself. But the minute you're, like, forcing doctors to do this kind of crap, just a downfall of society. And people mock that. That's the most insane thing ever, is that people mock this idea like, taking away basic truth and logic and fact is like not a downfall of society? Yes, of course it is. Once you start renaming and creating new narratives and new definitions to all words, to everything that goes on in the world, you're going to create a bunch of unstable people who are just going to be triggered by everything, because they're like, well, I know that's true for you, but it's not true for me. And you're like, well, this is true for everyone because it's a fact. And they're like, well, facts aren't real. The couple looks like an 80s prom photo in the worst possible way. Yeah. Remember, these are the same people who demand a pill to biological. By the way, if I ever like read out some of your chats and I just start mumbling, I get nervous just to make sure I don't get taken down. Remember, these are some of the people with the demand a pill to biological men like that. Yes, yes, exactly. These people would rather tell a doctor what to think than themselves. All right, I got this like crazy video, and then I'll finish with a sad video. All right. Okay, watch this video. Okay, I thought this was fake when I first saw this video. I first thought this video was fake. This man is walking a duck. What? What the frick?
Dude, that's legit.
What is this, man? We live in a crazy world, but I love that this is a reality.
Dude, that's legit.
Dude, that's legit. That video's insane. All right, we're going to finish this video and we'll call it a night. I've enjoyed tonight. This is kind of a sad video in my eyes, so, prepare yourself. I got to admit, that's kind of awesome. That's the kind of dude who gives no Fs. I know. This is the kind of dude that you invite to a party. And then, people that are CEOs and companies and stuff that have, incredible jobs, they're more mesmerized by a guy like this. This is like a Renaissance man. I mean, what? Who even thinks that? This guy has, a wife. He brought this goose home and was like, honey, I swear, don't get mad at me. You're going to love this new pet. They're smarter than the dogs. Did you know that? And he's just he's waddling. It's amazing. All right, this is my last video. I think a really sad video. I don't know if you saw this being passed around. Kind of a hot button topic. So don't get too mad. But here's this video is devastating to me. We're gonna see more and more of this as the medical community should be to blame for so much of this. Psychologists, doctors who just allow this, push this stuff, and encourage this stuff, especially with young children who don't have full brain development. They should slow down a little bit because, when a 5-year-old comes up to me and says, I want to be a firefighter or I want to be a dragon, I'm not going to tell them that you are a dragon. But here's a perfect example of why you can't just affirm everything that comes out of people's mouth. Sometimes you have to be affirming, and sometimes you have to challenge it and say, you know what, maybe you're just not old enough, or maybe you don't understand what you're saying. I'm going to push back. But here's a man who transitioned and regrets it now, and he is sounding the alarms. And you would think people would take notice of it, even on the left, but they don't care. They pretend like these people don't exist. And that's some of the worst thing you can do to people in general, and say, your truth or your way of life. It's the same people that took a vaccine, had side effects. Those are the same people that are like, you're not real. I'm not going to even acknowledge your existence. These people are just, people are assuming these people aren't real and that they're liars and they're outliers. They're just, a small minority, and then we're not going to address it. It's the same. It's funny that they use that logic when it comes to small minority, but when people use that same logic of people, transgender, are transgenders are a small minority. They're like, hey, that's just because they're not out yet. It's just okay. So you get to use that. Okay. But here, anyways, listen to this video. It's not just the medical community. It's the media, the government, schools who tell these kids, yes, I know. It's a concerted effort. It's a whole narrative of people agreeing on this subject together, which is insane and should all be held accountable, because you're not messing with adults with mental. You are messing with children's minds who are easily manipulated And that is a problem. But here we go. Dwayne Wade's son, yes, exactly. But here is this video. Watch this video. Everyone should watch this video and be forced to watch this video, because especially if you believe that you're on the other side of the aisle, you know, and you believe that this isn't a reality, or we should be affirming of children all the time. You should listen to this.
I'm angry. What's going to happen to the kids and the youth? And there's so many, there's so many people who regret this. There's more and more and more coming out, and younger too, on puberty blockers, that been on puberty blockers. And, you know, I read one that, you know, I think he went on puberty blockers at 16, and now he's like 20 or 21, and he is like suicidal because his penis won't grow anymore. Like, it does damage. It makes me so angry. And what we're gonna get is a generation that's screwed up. That are screwed up in like 10, 15 years. Wait, not even. I think it's accelerating quite quickly. When we get 30, 40-year-olds that are going to be like, what the fuck did I do when I was 16 or whatever, like, and you can't go back. You can't go back. I'm sad for myself, of course. Not in a victim kind of way, but in like, I need to, this process of mourning who I was is touch and go. So, but I'm sad for humanity and the children and what's gonna happen when they're screwed up. We're gonna see what's gonna happen, and I really, really hope that all these professionals get their friggin' karma, because I know that some of them don't realize, and some of them might be brainwashed and whatever, but some of them know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. Cash cowing.
100%. God, it's devastating. I think the hardest part too is like a lot of people in the medical community are forced to do this, or else they'll lose their license, or, you know, people will, like Jordan Peterson's a perfect example of this, that he was, you know, he lost his license because he pushed back. And that, you know, so much of the medical community is very authoritarianism, where it's like, this is the truth. This is what we're all prescribing as truth. And if you go against it, you're out of a job. You're on the streets. Bye. And then it's insane how nobody speaks up for these people. Nobody has their back. And it would be different if more people stood up together. But it's scary. And people need to be willing to lose their jobs in order to speak up for this community, and people will be mocked for it. Speaking of mocked, I just had somebody in this chat name. I'm not going to say their name. Obviously, YouTube blocked it, which was interesting because I just looked at my YouTube list, but I just blocked them as they were mocking this person crying, and I just don't think that's funny, because it's disturbing how many people's lives are being ruined in order for people on the left to be in power, and especially children. And that's where I draw the line. You mess with kids, I'm not going to shut up about it, period. It's disturbing, the form of control. I legitimately feel sorry for these guys. They didn't know any better, and they would manipulate into doing the unthinkable. I know. I do too. That's why I just blocked this person. I'm not going to say Moon. I said it. I just blocked that person. I don't know who it is. So I'm sure the stream will get taken down now that I had somebody in this chat that obviously, I can't believe YouTube, because I have like YouTube on the side, and then I have my chat that puts all of them together. I have like Twitter, Rumble, Facebook, YouTube, all in one chat together that I read for both, and YouTube didn't put that in the live chat, which is interesting, but I see it, so I blocked them. But they were just like mocking this person. I'm like, I'm not here for that crap. I'm not that kind of channel. It's like, I like to do stuff for shock value, but when it's like serious, like this person, an average person's life being ruined for a narrative and for these politicians and media and all kinds of crap. That's where I draw a line. And that shit makes me mad. And it should make you mad because people's lives are being ruined, and especially children. And like Papa says, they're being manipulated. Exactly. They're being, oh, you feel different? Let me just like drive. Oh, like you think this way? Let me just reinforce this idea that you have because, it's the most, people think that like if we're celebrating people over this and they're being celebrated more than the average person, that kids won't be affected by that. Like that's like the most insane thing to me is like these kids, if you push this kind of rhetoric, you push this kind of ideology, and you say this is a good way to think and believe, and we're going to celebrate you, and we're going to have parties for you, and we're going to be excited that you do this. It's insane to me that people think that kids aren't going to jump at the chance to be like this in order to be celebrated. Because what kid doesn't want to feel loved? What kid doesn't want a community to surround them and be excited to be who they are? Like it's hard to think otherwise. To add insult to injury, their support network immediately turns them into the second they show the smallest amount of exactly. And that's another thing too, is that like that person in the chat that I just had to block, is that I don't know what side they're on, but this person right here will be castigated, thrown aside, made to seem like insane or like their lives don't matter. And we saw that along with what happened with the vaccine. I'm not saying the vaccine is like terrible. I'm just saying that this idea that like if you have any adverse reaction or anything, like you are seen as like evil or thrown away or horrendous, and instead of like to be taken seriously, it's just, we're gonna have an entire generation of people who, it's like of people's voice is not being heard that are actually hurting, and this person is actually hurting, and people should be there for them. I would love to have this guy on my podcast in a heartbeat, freaking heartbeat. But he's the kind of person that his life is probably going to be a lot harder now that he spoke up. But I'm glad he did. I'm glad he had the balls to do it. All right. Thanks, guys. Super fun. Glad to be back on YouTube. Might be just for one show. You never know, and they might take me down now. Now that I said that person should be praised for coming out. It's just because like we live in a crazy world where it's like me being empathetic to that person's problems is being a problem. Like it's so stupid. But again, I only mock these politicians and people in charge and rich people. I will never mock the average American because that's not my channel. I'm not going to do that because they don't have power over my life and they don't control my life. So what comedy is about punching up, not down. Have a great day. Pop, I appreciate you in the chat. Moon, screw you, and you're blocked forever. Kaylon, I appreciate you. Who else is in the chat? Papa, I always appreciate you blowing up my chat. It means a lot to me. Somebody else was in my chat. I don't know. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Hopefully we'll still be on. Or tomorrow afternoon. Have a great day. I appreciate every single one of you. Tell your friends and family about the Derek O'Shea Show. The only way I grow is through you. If you want to support me, you can go buymeacoffee.com/Derek O'Shea Show. Link is in the description right below. Don't mention it. It's fun. I appreciate it, man. It means a lot to me. If you want to support me, go to there. Help me get monetized. I just need people to watch my show, and then I'll be monetized. I have the subscribers. I just don't have the hours yet. But we're getting there. So maybe YouTube has flagged my channel of when people report me and they know it's a lie. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know who I need to kiss at YouTube, but I will do it. Again, support my show if you want to, so I can tell my mom that this is a real show and finally get out of her basement. As Papa says, I'm tired of her being my roommate. But I live in her home. What are you gonna do? And if you believe that, I'm sorry. Remember, if you're getting flagged, you're doing something right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I know. I always have to like continue to tell myself. I just put so much time into this podcast. It's crazy how much time I put into it, as far as like doing the show, cutting up clips, putting stupid YouTube shorts, because that's the only way you can grow on YouTube. I wish it was like organic, but they're like,
yeah, you need to do shorts, you need to do short clips of your own show, your live show, and you need to go live, and then maybe you can grow. Maybe.
That's literally the truth, which is crazy. So if you're bugged by some of my clips from the show, I'm sorry, but that's the only way. So I hope you guys have a great day. I freaking love every single one of you. See you tomorrow. Bye.